Chapter 20 of Gypsy Rose's book, My Time to Stand. We're almost done. This time for reals. We got a couple more chapters after this, but she starts this chapter off by saying that she had went 6 years without being put in the hole, which was very weird because she states that most people get put in the hole, and then she says that unlike most of everyone else, she had a reason to not be put in the hole or try to be on her best behavior because she wasn't going to be in prison the rest of her life. But like, Gypsy, not everyone serves life sentences. Most people don't. She said that she kept her head down most of the time during the late stage of her sentencing. She said that she would just hang out with her best friends, Lori and Amelia. So because she served 85% of her sentence, the parole board started to want to speak with her for her possibility of parole. And I guess that's when she patched things up with Ryan. She mentioned Ryan right after she made that statement. I wonder why you wanted to patch things up with him. So Ryan and her discuss getting an apartment or a house together, and she makes a wish list for him. And she brings up the fact that the last time she had a wish list was for Habitat for Humanity, in which she said that she wanted a playhouse, a hot tub, and like a wheelchair ramp. And she has such a large list. Like, she wants the best of the best. She wants granite counters, high ceilings, hardwood floors, a patio. She starts to talk about the story about how a correctional officer intruded on her one morning while she was in her pajamas watching the Food Network. She's shocked that this correctional officer is taking her, and he takes her to a holding cell, and she's like, what did I do? Like, I never do anything. And he's like, I don't know, not my problem, and then walks off. So there's an intercom or like a voice box inside the cell, so she presses the button to speak with someone, and she's like, excuse me, like, why am I here? And they tell her that she's under investigation. So she's there for 3 days, poor Gypsy, in that holding cell for 3 days. And they go in to tell her what she's done. They first ask her, do you know what you did? And she's like, no, I haven't done anything. And she brings up that this is the first time where she's been honest, that she wasn't honest with her original interrogation that brought her there. She doesn't know why she's in trouble, and she brings up it reminds her of the time that her mother had wheeled her to the shed. So she's in the hole for 2 weeks, and she complains about the other cellmates, once again saying that there was someone there who just screamed constantly. And she worried that Ryan wouldn't know if she was okay, and her parents wouldn't know if she was okay, but Amelia had told Ryan that she was in the hole. She brings up what keeps her sane is thinking about the home that she's going to have when she gets out of prison, and how she's going to add like a dressing room to the list so she can do her makeup and everything. She talks about how bad being in the hole is, about how she has to take cage showers where she has to do it in front of female correctional officers, and how there is I guess she has to use the bathroom right out in the open because her toilet's right there in the middle of the room. And apparently she's put in the hole because someone wrote on social media that they felt sorry for her, so much so that they would just come break her out, or they wanted to break her out. It's been 2 weeks, so she's able to come out and join the general population again, in which she compares herself to a prisoner of war. And she's worried now that her being in the hole is going to cause her to not have a good hearing for her parole, so she's scared that she's not going to be able to get out on parole early. She says that she speaks with the parole board, and this is where I'm pissed off, to be honest, hearing these details. She asked Christy to speak for her, but one of the main questions was, it wasn't even gravitated towards her crime at all, but they bring up her mother's, how she was raised and her upbringing and her mother, and then they ask her how she met Nick, and she tells them all of that, and then they tell her, sorry, we're not really familiar with your case. So these inmates are getting out on parole early, and they don't even know about the case. And then they ask her, hey, so what programs have you done since being in prison? And because Gypsy's such a great Samaritan, they tell her that she's doing a great job. She's only had 13 infractions. She's got her GED. She's got certificates for programs she's participated. She's just a great person. Just awesome. Just super cool. Yeah. They asked her, did you have any mental health support? Did you go see a therapist? And which Gypsy said, no, I haven't. I don't qualify. I don't qualify, even though that is something that every inmate has the ability to participate in. She didn't qualify, and that's what she told the parole board. The parole board encourages her when she gets out to seek therapy for everything that has happened in her life because she's just a victim and everything. And then Christy chimes in and says, oh, she'll have the support that she needs. She's got her family. They never bring up Ryan or anything else. They just say, she's got her family. She's got us. She don't need no one else. And heck, well, I'll do therapy with her. They tell Gypsy that it could take 2 weeks before she hears their decision. So she gets her letter, and she's been approved to be out on parole early, December 28th of 2023. So because, inmates just love to pick on people and say that all their sentences is baby time. The reason why these inmates called your sentence baby time, or they would have called your sentence baby time, is because, girl, you murdered someone. You got 8.5 years for a murder. That is baby time. That's not fair at all. There is people who commit rogue crimes that serve more time than you. Seriously. She brings up that they didn't want the media to know that she was going to get out early because the act, she had received a lot of haters. Gypsy. I can't even say this next part. She talks about how Ryan is sharing pictures of their home and everything, and how she envisions that while Ryan is making this gumbo that's going to rival her dad's, he's wearing an apron that says, I don't need Google. I have Gypsy. She says now she's got to focus on things that really matter, like what she's going to wear when she meets Ryan, because that's all that matters. So Ryan picks out her outfit, and then he mails it to her. These inmates now team up on her one day while she was in the canteen about 4 months before her release. And they say, oh, we know you got parole. And she gives the famous statement of, you can't scam artists. What did you do your, entire life, girl? So she contacts Christy and her dad, and someone had leaked the story to In Touch magazine, and they believe it was one of Christy's friends. Do you mean it's not Christy herself? Because that's who leaked all the other information of you. I mean, she wrote to Hulu and HBO to get you all those documentaries and stuff, and shows. So they plan the holiday that she's getting to celebrate when she's released. And so she's going to be surrounded by her family and Lifetime, of course. And her favorite team, the Chiefs, was going to play on New Year's, and that's where she was going to have her New Year's kiss, because that is symbolic. It means that this just had to happen. It was fate. But that's the end of this chapter.